Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು?
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಓಕೆ. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್
Fine.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್,
Okay.
ಜಾಯ್ನ್
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ,
ಜನ
ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು.
Okay. So everyone, please switch on your camera.
ಸರ್?
Yeah, ನಿಮ್ಗಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಅಕ್ಷಯ್,
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
ಮಾಳ್ವಿಕಾ, ಶ್ರೇಯಸ್, ಸಹನಾ. If possible, try to switch on your camera. Yes. Yeah. So total there are 18 participants. So very good. So thank you. So yes. So I'll be using both English and Kannada. Okay. So I hope it is comfortable for you. As it was informed earlier, okay, so today in this session, so we are basically speaking about the optional subject, right? See, I'm not here basically to pitch what optional subject that I teach. Okay, I'm here to speak only about okay the significance of optional and how optional plays a crucial role in your main selection, right? So we are here only to discuss about that, and also we'll be discussing more about the aspect of means. Okay, so prelims already like ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತು majority and training ಆಗೋದು prelims ಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. But here we are focusing more on the mains aspect. Okay, so here I want to discuss about three important components. Okay, so ultimately which you should be focusing on. Okay, so presently, so in August 23rd, okay, possibly in the last week of August, so we are having mains exam for this year. Okay, and also this year they have made one change. So that one change is earlier last year and all the mains exam used to be scheduled in the month of September. Okay, but now so the mains exam is scheduled in August. Okay, so from now on, the same trend will continue because if you look at 26 timetable also, the mains exam is scheduled in the last week of August, right? So there is this change in trend. So earlier you used to get 3 months of time to prepare for your mains, but now there is only hardly 2.5. Okay, because earlier the examination used to get conducted in the last week of May or in the first week of June. This is the normal time. Okay, so your results should be out by June 15th or June 20th. Okay, so your mains examination would be in the last week of September. So total you should get around June, July, August, total 3 months. Okay, but now your results will be out in the last week of June, and you are having only just 1.5 month time to prepare for your mains. Okay, so keeping that in mind, so we'll be focusing more on the aspects of mains, right? And also there we'll be discussing more about the prelims aspect. Okay, so my first question would be, so I have like there are total 18 participants. Uh, how many of you have actually have some idea with respect to the optionals? For example, sir, this is the optional that I will I will select. Okay, because when you are selecting an optional, you should look into certain parameters. Okay, I'll speak about the parameters. But my first question would be, okay, how many of you out of 18 students, okay, have selected your option or ನೀವು ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಈ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ at least you have some idea. Please use the chat box. Kindly use I want interaction. This is not basically a class. So this is best. Basically, I can call it as a strategy session, right? So strategy session for your mains examination, wherein more emphasis will be given for your options, right? So please use the chat box. So ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ನಾನು ಈ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಪರ್ ಮೈ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಜನ ನೀವು ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಐಡಿಯಾ ನನಗಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದೇ ತರ ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಚಾಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್. ಎಸ್. Okay, so few of you say that it is philosophy. Yeah, sir. Akshay says that he has decided with sociology. Very good. Okay, sir. Still, I have not decided. Okay, Sakshi says that she has not decided. Okay, fine. So very good. Like if you have not decided, then you should be knowing are the people who have not selected. Okay, so we'll keep everything aside. We'll just focus on the mains part. Okay, so I will call it as the mains strategy part. Okay, yes, I hope this is audible. Mains strategy. Okay, so just a brief sum up. Okay, so your mains, you will be writing 9 papers in total, right? So out of the 2 papers will be eligibility. Okay, so just like ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ CSAT ಎಲಿಜಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೀಜನಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಒಂದು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟಾ? ಸೊ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ ನಿಮಗೆ 300 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, 300 ಕನ್ನಡ ಅಂಡ್ 300 ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲಿಜಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟು ತೆಗಿಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು 75 ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್. ಸೊ 75 ಗಿಂತ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ನೀವು ಎಲಿಜಿಬಲ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಪೇಪರ್ ಒಂದು ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಪ್ರಿಪರೇಷನ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ. ನೀವು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಇದನ್ನ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಟು ಬಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ 2 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನ ಯಾರು ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗೆ 1 ವಾರ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಬುಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ರಿವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಪೇಪರು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಫೈ ಆಗಿರೋರು ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಈಗ ರೀಜನಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಇಂದ ಬರೋರು, ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಹಿಂದಿ ಬೆಲ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮುಂಚೆಯಿಂದನೂ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಕನ್ನಡ ಓದಿರಲ್ಲ, ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಕನ್ನಡ ಓದಿರಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರು ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲಂಕ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಈಸಿ ಟು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್, ಬಟ್ ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ 7 ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಸಹ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗಮನ ಇರಲಿ. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ 300 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ 75 ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ತದೆ, ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜ್ ನ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಎಸ್ಸೆ ಬರೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೈಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಿಸೈಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು 1/3 ಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ 3 ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. 3 ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ 3 ಪ್ಯಾರಾಗ್ರಾಫ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗದಂಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಬರೀ 1/3 ಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರೆಸೀಸ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಒಂದು 50 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ 3 ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಂದಾನೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 250 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕವರ್ ಆಗೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಗಿನ 50 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಈ 3 ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿ ರೆಡಿ ಆದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಈ ಪೇಪರ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈಸಿ. ಯಾವುದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಪೇಪರ್, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷಲ್ಲೂ ಸೇಮ್, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಸೇಮ್, ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇದೇ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜ್, ಎಸ್ಸೆ, ಪ್ರಿಸೈಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಬಟ್ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಸಹ ಒಂದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಕನ್ನಡದಿಂದ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಇಂದ ಕನ್ನಡ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ಗೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್. ಈ 7 ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕ್ರೂಷಿಯಲ್, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ 7 ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ 7 ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತು, GS1, GS2, GS3 ಅಂಡ್ GS4 ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಾರ್ಗೂ ಕಾಮನ್, ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಈಗ GS1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, GS1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, GS1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸೋಶಿಯಾಲಜಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ GS2 ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಪೊಲಿಟಿ ಅಂಡ್ IR ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ 3 ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲೂ 3 ಟಾಪಿಕ್, ಇಲ್ಲೂ 3 ಟಾಪಿಕ್. ಸೊ GS ಪೇಪರ್ 3 ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವೆರಡು ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯೂಶಲಿ 2 ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ 4 ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಇವೆರಡು ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ 3 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ 4 ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ವೆರಿ ಕ್ರೂಷಿಯಲ್, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇನ್ನ ಒಂದು ವೆರಿ ಕ್ರೂಷಿಯಲ್ ಪೇಪರ್ 5th ಪೇಪರ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಸ್ಸೆ. ಸೊ ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು 5 ಪೇಪರ್ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕಾಮನ್, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇವಾಗ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ 2 ಪೇಪರ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, 2 ಪೇಪರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಪೇಪರ್ 6 ಅಂಡ್ ಪೇಪರ್ 7, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಸಹ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ 4 ಏರಿಯಾಗೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? 4 ಏರಿಯಾಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸರ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ 4 ಏರಿಯಾಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ 1, ಸೊ ನೀವು ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಟಾಪರ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಶೀಟ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಈ 4 ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲೇ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್, ಎಸ್ಸೆ, ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 2 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ 1 and 2 ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದಲೇ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ 2024, 2023, 2022. ಸೊ ಟಾಪ್ 1 to 10 ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬನ್ನಿ. 1 to 10 ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಶೀಟ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಶೀಟ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ವರ್ಷ ಒಂದು 900 ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ತೆಗೆದಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 800 ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ತೆಗೆದಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಶೀಟ್ ತೆಗೀರಿ. ಎರಡು ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎರಡು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತೆಗೆದಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಸ್ ಎಲ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ನೋಡಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಟಾಪರ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ಸ್ ಒಂದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಎಸ್ ಎಲ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. So they'll be scoring more marks in ethics or essay, or they'll be scoring good marks in optional subject. So ಈ GS paper 1, 2, 3, okay, if you identify these three, the difference is very less. Okay, one example ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. Okay, let me assume a topper and also a person who has just qualified. So what do you mean by this just qualified means? I would say in the 800 to 900 rank. Just margin yes qualified. So here I will take this at 1 to 10. Okay, if you just compare, okay, compare with respect to GS. Compare with respect to GS, right? So out of GS, you know, it is for 750 marks. 750. The maximum you can, the very best marks is 450 to 500. 450 to 500. So this includes GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 3, and GS paper 4. Out of these 4 papers, the best good marks is in the range of 450 to 500. But if you look here, okay, so your difference it's also, I can say it will be in the range of 450 to 480. Or I would say in a easier way, I would say the difference will not be much. I would say it will be in the range of 450 to 480. There is a difference. So what is the difference? It is just 20 marks. Or I can say it is just 15 to 20 marks. That will be the difference. So your real competition is not in GS. GS paper 1 to 3, that is not your real competition. Because whether the person who has stopped or whether the person who has just qualified, the difference between the scores is just 10 to 15 marks. Get my point? So a person, let me assume, okay, here I will give, okay, well, there is one answer 1, and there is answer 2, and also there is answer 3. Get my point? So let me assume this is for 10 mark. This is for 10 mark. Okay, you keep this one point, very, very important point. So whenever the question is for 10 mark, the maximum marks you can get means the highest we can say is 5. Out of 10, if you get 5, then that is an excellent marks. Get my point? So that is an excellent marks in GS 1 to 3. Keep that point in mind. Okay, why? Because if you look at the topper's marks, the final total will be for 2025, right? And what will be the topper's marks? It will be in the range of 1100, not even 50% of 2025. Okay, and average topper's marks will be in the range of 49% to 50% out of the total. So if you get this 49 to 50%, you will be in top 10. You know my point? So the point here is, whenever the question is for 10 marks, so they will evaluate it for 5. Means if you get 5 out of 10, so then that's an excellent marks. For example, if the question is for 15 marks, let me assume it is for 15 marks. The maximum you can get is 7.5. Anything beyond 7.5 is excellent, I can say. If you have written everything, 7.5. Okay, I'll give a small example. Let me assume there is a question. There is a question and it is for 10 marks. Your introduction is good. Your body is good. Your conclusion is good. Also, you have added 2 diagrams also. And also in conclusion, you have given 2 suggestions. In introduction, you have given important data. And also you have given the context. And in body part, you have given multiple dimensions and also you have given multiple examples. So this is a right, proper good answer. So how they will evaluate? So they are starting evaluation from 5 marks. Let me assume you consider this paper. Introduction is not so good. Body part is not so good. Conclusion is also very meager. Okay, and no value addition like the diagrams or flowcharts. Examples also is not given. So what they will do is that here they will start evaluation for 5 marks. Okay, so let me assume for introduction they have allocated half. For conclusion they have allocated 1. For body part, okay, for diagram they have allocated half, and for body part they have allocated remaining 3. So this is totally it amounts to 5. Get my point? So what they will do? They will check introduction. Okay, so introduction is not so good. So your half marks you will not get. Conclusion is also not up to the mark. You will not, out of 1, you will get only half. If you have not put any diagram, you will not get this half also. Okay, so what is the amount of marks you are losing? Half, and half, 1.5. And out of 3, your body part also you have not given many dimensions. So here out of 3, if he or she gives 2, okay, again you are losing 1 here. So total out of 2.5 marks you are losing. So for this answer, you will maximum get 2.5. This is how the evaluation is done. So they will not deduct marks from 10 marks. Please keep that point in mind. Okay. So also here, introduction is good, so you will get half marks. Conclusion is very nice. Out of 1, you will get 1. Diagram is also there. Out of half, you will get all half. And body part, it's also good. So out of 3, let me assume they end up giving you 1. So what is the total marks? You'll get 3.5. This is how evaluation is done. Okay, so here the topper may be getting 3.5 and a normal person can be getting 2.5. So what is the difference? It's only 1 marks. It's only 1 marks. Get my point? So if you calculate this for all the 3 papers, the marks will not vary more than 20 plus. ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ difference ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. Get my point? So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ your real competition is not with your GS 123. GS 123. GS 123, your strategy is very simple. Finish the paper. Finish the paper. That's all. If you have ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ sir, I have written the best content. Okay, for out of 20 questions, I have attended only 15 questions, and for all the 15 questions, I have given the best content. You have left 5. You have left 5. So let me assume you have left all 50, or you have left all 10 markers. 50 marks you have lost. So your evaluation is doing only for 200 marks. Out of 200, they'll evaluate for 100. Out of 100, if you have written everything, maximum will end up getting 80 to 90. Get my point? 80 to 90. But there is a person out of 20 questions, he has attended all the 20 questions. All the 20. Get my point? So you have attended only 15 and you have left remaining 5 questions, but there is another person who has attended all the 50, sorry, all the 20. Okay, so here for one question, that person is getting, on an assumption, I'm getting 5 marks. Okay, so 5 into 50, let's assume 75. So here the person is getting, let me assume 4 also. Okay, so 4 into 20 is how much? 80. So see the difference, 5 marks difference. Here you may be getting good marks, 1 good marks extra, but here the person is writing more. So he's getting 80 and you are getting 75. 5 marks difference in only 1 paper. And if you calculate this for 4 papers, there is a difference of 20 marks. So this is where the difference is getting created. So the ones who are clearing, they are not focusing on the quality of the content. They are actually focusing on what? They are actually focusing on finishing the paper. So your approach for GS paper 1, 2, and 3 should be to finish the paper. Don't bother about the content. Try to finish the paper. So that is the approach for your GS paper 1, 2, 3. So by discussing all these things, okay, I can infer 2 things. One thing is that in GS paper, the competition is less. Means I cannot outweigh someone in the GS paper. So in GS paper, I should just finish writing the paper. That is the only strategy. Point number 2, this is not where I am creating the difference. This is not where I am creating the difference, and also the competition doesn't lie in GS paper 1, 2, 3. So here the strategy is to finish the paper. Now, okay, yes, yeah. I hope I'm audible. Yes, Chirant, I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, so now I know these 2 things. Okay, so that the real competition so doesn't lie here. Okay, in GS paper. But here, if you look at here, I've put the stars here. Stars. Okay, why these stars? Because I told one point to you that in your GS paper, the evaluation that they are doing, they are doing for how much, sir? They are doing for 5, only 5. Okay, so in your GS paper, they are doing evaluation for 5, and from this 5, they are actually deducting the marks. Yes or no? From this 5, they are actually deducting. For 10 marker, it is 5. For 15 marker, it is 7.5. So if you have written everything, you will get all 7.5. If you have, like, if you have compromised in conclusion, introduction, then they will deduct from 7.5. This is the normal thing. But what about ethics plus essay? Ethics plus essay. So here the evaluation is usually done for what? 6 marks, or sometimes it is 7 marks also. So here this 5 which I told, which is half, here it is 60%, or sometimes it is 70%. Okay, for example, if you have written an ethics answer, let me assume you have written 10 mark answer, and they are starting evaluation from 7 marks. If you have written everything, you will get 7. If you have, they started from 7, your introduction is not good, conclusion is not good, they'll deduct 1 and you will get 6. So that's why people are getting good marks in ethics. Why they are getting good marks in ethics? Because the evaluation percentage here is actually 6 marks. So if you have written everything properly in ethics, definitely you will be getting all 7. Even in essay also, it is the same. Have you observed this in GS paper 1? Okay, the highest marks you can say, it will be in the range of 100 to 110. 100 to 110. This is for 250. And if you look at essay, Essay. So what is the highest marks or an average marks you can say? I'll go with highest only. The highest will be 140 to 150. This year, the highest marks was 154. Can you look at the difference here? The difference between the two highest. So here the highest is 110, here the highest is 50. What is the difference? In only one paper, 40 difference is created. And you are creating this 40 difference in all those one paper. 1, 2, 3. ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ನಿಮಗೆ 40 difference ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು paper 40 difference. So your focus area should be more on essay and ethics. But what generally people will do whenever it comes to mains, they're focusing on GS paper 1, 2, 3. And also there the time you are investing to get the content is also more. Why? Because there are multiple topics there. Yes or no? Because if you go with GS paper 1, there are multiple topics there only. There is history. In history, it is subdivided. There is art and culture. There is modern history. There is world history. There is independence movement. If you come to geography, human geography, physical geography, Indian geography, sociology. Get my point? So there are multiple subjects, and for each subject you need to prepare the content. Get my point? But here it's not like that. So majority of the candidates who are getting selected, they are focusing more on what? They're focusing more on essay and ethics. The real competition, I can say, it is in essay and ethics. Get my point? So essay, why? Because as I told, the highest marks is 130, 150, sorry, 140 to 150. What is the average then? Because we speak in terms of average. Okay, we speak in terms of average. Average, okay, in essay is 130. This is the average. If you have written everything correctly, this is what you'll get. In your GS paper, that is 1, 2, and 3, your average is 100. If you have completed the paper, this is what you can expect. 100 is what you can expect. If you have understood the essay properly, if you have given the proper dimensions, backed it with examples, this is what you can expect. Can you see the difference? 30 marks is the difference. 30 marks is the difference. And also with respect to ethics, ethics also, the average, I can say, the average is 120 to 130. This is what you can score. But here it is just 100. So the real difference of the 50 marks that you are speaking is actually getting created from essay and ethics only. Essay and ethics only. Please keep that point in mind. So this is my second point. And last one, I would say, it is your optionals. Okay, optionals, we know it is for 500 marks. It is for 500 marks. And like, what is the average good marks in essay? I would say any optional you take, 300 marks is a good marks in essay. Sorry, options. Okay, so that's why you might have seen, okay, many coaching institutes, they market this themselves as, okay, you join us and get your 300 marks secure. So why? Because this 300 is a very good scoring option. Get my point? 300 is a very good scoring option. So you should choose an optional where, very important point, you should choose an optional where students have earlier scored 300, because 300 is non-negotiable. Because the only discrepancy that UPSC is creating, or I can say inequality that the UPSC is creating, is with respect to optionals. Why? Because GS paper 1, 2, 3, it is common for everyone. Essay is common for everyone, ethics is common for everyone. So there, everyone will get the same question. Okay, everyone will write the same content, but here optionals, you are having a choice. You are having a choice. And also, if you look at subjects like medical, okay, this is also very important. And also mathematics, okay, mathematics. And also you take subjects like sociology, you take subjects like anthropology. Okay, you take subjects like I can say anthropology, what is public administration or PSIR, okay, etc. Okay, very important. Here I am speaking about. Have you observed the students from medical? They have amazed marks like 380 to 420 marks in medical. Have you seen a candidate, okay, with medical optional scoring this much amount, 380 to 420? Whereas if you go to optionals like geography also, the maximum highest marks is 327. Why this difference? 327 and 380. And also mathematics, you see, I've seen students who are scoring 390 in mathematics. But in sociology, what is the highest? Maximum, I would say it is 330, not more than 330. Why? Because there is something called as scaling. Very important. Scaling. What is this scaling? See, scaling means, See, I'll give an example. A and B. Okay, A and B. Okay, let me assume you are A with an engineering background, or let me assume with some graduation background. Okay, you want to prepare for an option. You should go only for sociology, anthropology, PSIR, and PA. You cannot go for medical, right? Only a medical student who has done graduation in medical can take up medical, but he can. But you, being and probably coming from engineering background, you cannot take medical. Get my point? And also the amount of time you are putting, for example, the amount of time that you are putting to understand sociology and the amount of time you are putting to understand medical is completely different. Yes or no? Like this, we should accept. Okay, so if I give you medical book and also sociology book, in which book you will understand easily? Sociology book you will understand easily, even with any prior knowledge also. You'll understand sociology, or you will understand anthropology, or you understand geography. So, what is the point here? So, this subject you can easily understand, easily score. Easily understand means easily score. Get my point? So, what will happen if all the candidates go with easy optionals, then there will be discrepancy created. Okay, so you are taking easy optional, getting good marks. Other person not taking that good optional is scoring low. So this will be created. So what they do for these difficult subjects, they do something called as scaling. What is the scaling? For example, let me assume in medical, okay, in medical, out of 500, if you score 350, they will retain this 350. They will retain this 350. But in sociology, out of 500, if you score 350, they will equate this marks around 280. They'll equate this marks around 280. Why? Because the difficulty to cater for the difficulty level. This is called as what? Scaling. Okay, my point. So whenever, like, if you are having this doubt, sir, why those optional they are getting more marks? Why not here? Because of this. Get my point? So, and maximum optionals you can select as only these options. So that is why your optionals will be getting less marks, because majority of the students will be taking it. So why I'm telling this point is that because you are having, like, you might having this myth, oh, that optional is scoring, this is scoring, nothing is scoring, is nothing like that. For a difficult optional, they will retain the marks. For an easy optional, they will try to equate the marks. This is called as scaling. So that's why we see only 300 highest marks in sociology, anthropology, and 390, 400 highest marks in subjects like mathematics and medical. Please keep this point in mind. Okay, so my third bunch is how much, sir? Your optional subject, that is 300. So now, this is very important. So we are into the last portion. Okay. Okay, we are into the last portion. Write it here. Okay. So what is the last portion? So yeah, I write it here. Okay. What is the marks required for your selection? Very important point. Okay, what is the marks required for your selection? First, I'll speak with prelims only. Okay, so you know we're having two paper, TS paper 1, TS paper 2, that is CSAT. So CSAT, everyone, it is common, it is 66. GS paper 1, even you may be from any community. If you can get this 100 means I can say it is 55 to 60 questions out of 100 questions. Correct. 55 to 60. Keep this point in mind. 55 to 60, you will clear prelims. Point 1 means plus personality test. Write it here, personality test. Okay, this number is very important. 1000. If you get 1000, you will be in top 100. Will be in top 100. This data which I'm speaking about, so I've seen last 10 years data, then I've come up with this number. 1000, top 100. 980, it means 980 to 1000, it is top 200. 960, 400. More than 950, it is some rank for unreserved. If you score less than 950, being in like unreserved category, you will not get selected, because 950 is the normal cutoff. 950 is the normal cutoff. Hear my point? And 950, if you deduct minus 20, okay, I will say 930. So this will be the cutoff for OBC. If you score less than 930, being an OBC, you will not get selected. And for this, you go with minus 20 once again. I would say 9, 10. So 9, 10 would be for EWS. Minus 20, 890. So this will be for SE and ST. This is the normal cutoff. If you score less than 890, being an SE will not get selected. If you score 950, less than 950, being like unreserved students will not get it. So this is the marks you should get for different categories. But if you want to be in top 100, what is the score? 1000. So always we used to we had this number. Okay, 100,000. What is this 100,000 target? 100 for prelims, 1000 for mains plus personality test. So this should be your target. If someone say what is your target preparation, it is 100,000. That will be your target. So 100 for prelims, because 100 if you score any given day, you take last 10 years also, last 5 years, the cutoff has not reached more than 100 for general category speaking, right? So here 1000, 100 and 1000, right? 100 and 1000. So my target is now what? This 1000. How to get this 1000 is my next question, right? So we'll discuss this here. How to get this target 1000. So I'll write it here. Target 1000. Right? Target 1000. So here, as I spoke, 3 groups are there. There are majorly 3 groups. Very, very important. If you can, please write it somewhere if you want. 3 groups are there. The first group is your essay plus ethics group. So total, how much marks you have? You have 500 marks. Here, you can score 250. Because I told the evaluation will be done for how much? 6. Get my point? So 250. Second group is your optionals. What is the marks? 500. Okay. How much I told? 300. 300 is highest, I told, right? 300 is highest, which I told. Third group is your GS 1, 2, and 3. Total 750 marks. Okay. What is the average I told? 300. Because 100 from one paper, which I told 100. Calculate it. How much you got? 300, 300, 600, 850. 850. This is not 1000. This is not 1000. But now you go to personality test. Personality test, we know it is what? 275. How much? 275. 275. So here, I'll give 2 extremes. Worst marks and highest marks. Also, I'll give average marks. Average marks. Highest is how much? Highest is, as of now, like 210 on an average is highest, but last year it was 206. Okay, I will take 210. 210. What is the worst? What is the worst? 150. What is the average? 170 to 190. This is the average. This is the average. You know my point? Generally, this is the average. If you're a good score in your personality test, if you are having good score, it is 210. Worst is 150. Average is 120. So if you look at the toppers, like the toppers particularly from Karnataka, their mark sheet and also their interview marks is in the range of 170 to 190 only. Why? Because their communication, their English will be good. So that's why they'll get good marks, because that will work out there, because your communication, how you are interacting, how you are responding, how you are comprehending matters. So if you look any candidates from Karnataka, their mark sheet, if you look, their average personality marks is 170 to 190. I have not seen any student from Karnataka getting selected and getting this much, 150. I have not seen. There may be, but I have not seen, right? So 150. 150, right? So now to this you add 150. What is your total? 1000. 1000 is your total. So this is the total. Your 1000. If you are getting 1000 means where you will be? You will be in top 100. Yes or no? So 115 PT, 815 your mains. 850, right? So to get 850, 3 categories are there. So the first category, that is essay and ethics, you should be in a position to get 250. That is 125 in one paper, 125 in another paper. Because I told essay, the average marks is 130. Here the average marks is 125. Here I'm only taking average. I'm not even taking PS. I'm only taking average. right? Optionals I told, average is how much? 300. That the max you can target is 300, but there are students who are getting 325 also. I'm not speaking about that, only 300. So GS paper 1, 2, 3, 300 because 100, that is what it is the max marks is. But there are who are getting, like, for example, 100 in 2 papers and 110 in other paper. 10 marks extra they are getting that. I'm not even speaking about that, only the average. So this should be your goal. This should be your goal. Okay, so your first preference would be, I would say this one. Your first preference should be essay and ethics. Why? Because less time, more marks. Because essay, you hardly will get 2-3 sessions, introductory session, and you can write. Ethics, almost the syllabus is less. First preference is essay ethics, first priority area. Second priority area is optionals. Optionals. Third priority area is your GS paper 1, 2, 3. So this will be your target. So please write it somewhere. 250, 300, 300 is your target to get this 1000. Get my point? So any doubts? Use the chat box. Are you getting bored or what? There's no interaction, anything. Use the chat box. How you are feeling at least about the session? Only I'm speaking from that time. No interaction. Yes, use the chat box. Okay, so what should be your target? 1000. And you know how you are categorizing it, right? So 250, 300, 300, right? Okay, so yeah, now quickly we'll move on to the next part, that is your options, because as I told, this part is almost the same. Essay and GS paper 1 is same, but optionals which I do. Okay, so while selecting optionals, people who have already selected, okay, no problem, please go with it, but your target should be 300. Okay, but students who have not selected, what are the criteria that you should look at? Okay, criteria number one, you should have materials. Okay, you should have materials. Sir, 1000 out of 225, correct. 1000 out of 225. Okay, so option number one. Point one, you should look at is the materials, availability of materials. Very, very important, because there was a time where students used to choose Kannada literature. Okay, why? Because they like many felt that like Kannada, like they have studied, so they can go with Kannada literature. But the problem is, do you have materials? And also, I've seen many students who have done BCom and they want to take up business administration, but do you have materials? That is the point. Because at the end of the day, like if you want to write an answer, you need content, and content where you'll get from the books, right? So first we should look at is materials. Second thing you should look at is coaching. Why? Because I'll take two phrases from the UPSC notification itself. Okay, if you look at UPSC notification for general studies paper, okay, so there is one statement that UPSC has given that, okay, so we are just expecting knowledge that like which should be there in a normal general person. So they are actually expecting a knowledge from a general person. They don't want subject expert. For GS subject, so the knowledge of a candidate should be of general in nature. But if you look at the phrase for optional, what is the phrase that they're using? They're saying that the knowledge of the candidate should be such that, okay, it should be equivalent to the post graduation. So optionals ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರ್ಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ ಆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನಷ್ಟು ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ GSಗೆ ಓಕೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಜನರಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ GS ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಜನರಲಿಸ್ಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್. ಯಾವ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ there will be more depth. There will be more depth. In my point. So that's why I'll always be telling this. Okay, so like since being a geography teacher, if you look at the surface of the earth, so the surface of the earth is made out of 3 layers, right? So first you are having crust, so then you are having mantle, then you are having core. Okay, so if you look at, I always compare this crust with prelims. Why the crust with prelims? Because there is more to cover, but less depth. So that's why I compare crust with prelims, right? You take mantle. So mantle I compare with mains. Why? Because compared to prelims, there is less to cover, but there is more depth. Less to cover, right? because mains the syllabus is defined. You should study only this. Prelims the syllabus is not defined. They have told ecology, environment, biodiversity, and for that you are reading one book. Only for one statement you are reading one book. But in mains it's not like that. They've actually spoken what you should study. When the syllabus is comprehensively they have given, the amount of time you are putting is less, right? So mains, the content you are covering is less, and also the depth is more. And when I speak about this score, everyone will say it is personality test. No, it is wrong. It is not personality test. It is actually optional. Why it's optional? Because very less to cover, but there is more depth, right? Optional is like that. Very less to cover. Syllabus is less, but there is more depth they're asking. So that's why I feel that for optionals, you require coaching. You require coaching. Or, for example, because one person told, sir, I'm preparing law. Okay, so obviously I agree. So whenever you are preparing law and when you are studying subject from graduation, obviously it will help. But what they are teaching in college and what they are expecting in UPSC, please look at the paper. If it is same with your college knowledge, you can answer the UPSC answer, then good. Don't take any coaching. If not, try to get good. That's the only advice I will give, because I have not seen law papers as of now. Okay, and also I don't know what they are teaching in your college. So, like with the knowledge that you are getting from college, if you can answer UPSC level question, then you are all time welcome. But point is, I have personally seen many engineers, particularly computer science and also civil engineers. Okay, they are opting for other options like geography and geology. Why they are not going, even though there is computer science and civil engineering as optional, why they are not going with it? Because what they have studied in college and what they are asking in exam is completely different. Because of that. Okay, so that's why even many engineers, why they can take up civil engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, four engineering optional subjects are there. Why they are not going with it? Because what they are studying in college is completely different from what they are asking you. So because keeping that point in mind, ultimately what they want is marks. So that's why they are going for easier options. Okay, so keep that point in mind. So I would say second important thing, look at for coaching. Third important, most important is test, that is mock test plus feedback. Very, very important, which is lacking. Okay, these three things you should see. Whether you are having materials, you are getting good materials. Okay, whether you are having good coaching, most important is test and feedback. Okay, test and feedback. So while selecting an optional, you should look at all these things. And most important is this one, feedback. Because optional is all about writing answer. Okay, it's not about your knowledge. It's about how well you write an answer. Only on that someone is evaluating you. It's not about how much knowledge you have, nothing. It's about within the stipulated time, okay, what is the content that you are writing. That is the only point. So feedback matters a lot. So these are the three things. And next question, sir, I'm stuck with two optionals. It means I'm stuck with sociology, I'm stuck with geography. What I should do? ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಯಾವ್ದು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿ? ಅವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ತೆಗಿರಿ. ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ನ ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ ನೋಡಿ, ಸೋಷಿಯಾಲಜಿಗೂ ನೋಡಿ, ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿಗೂ ನೋಡಿ. ಯಾವ್ದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಓದ್ತಿದಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ಇದು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ಇಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಮ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಾಲಜಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮ್ಯಾರೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾರಿಟಲ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೀನಿ ಅಂತಾರ ಈಗ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಬರ್ತೀರಾ, ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಓಷನೋಗ್ರಫಿ, ಕ್ಲೈಮೆಟಾಲಜಿ ಈ ತರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ ಓದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅದು GS ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಓದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ. ಸರ್ ಎರಡೂ ನಂಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ನೋಡಿ, 2024 ಪೇಪರ್ನ ತೆಗೆದು ನೋಡಿ, ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿ. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ, ನೀವ್ ಏನೋ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್. ಇವೆರಡು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇವೆರಡು ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ಸ್ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ರಿಲೆವೆನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು? ಈ ಮೂರ್ ಬೇಕು, ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಸರ್ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ if any student who is interested in to join geography optional, they can opt us. ಒಂದು, ಸೊ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಒನ್, ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು GS ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಓದ್ತೀರಾ, ಯೂಶಲಿ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ GS ಗೆ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ NCERT, ರೈಟ್? NCERT ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 11 ಮತ್ತೆ 12 NCERT ಓದ್ತೀರಾ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು GCD ಓದ್ತೀರಾ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಈ 11, 12 ಮತ್ತೆ GCB ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ನೀವೇನು ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ GS ಗೆ, ಆ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ನ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೊಂದು 50% ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಮುಗ್ದಂಗೆ ಲೆಕ್ಕ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನೀವು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ NCERT GS ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಓದ್ತೀರಾ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ 50% ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮುಗ್ದಂಗೆ ಲೆಕ್ಕ. ಸೊ ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಒಂದು. ಎರಡನೇದು ಸರ್, ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. GS ಪೇಪರ್ 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಇದೆ. GS ಪೇಪರ್ 2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? GS ಪೇಪರ್ 2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ IR ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್. ನೀವು ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಬಂದಾಗಲೂ ಸಹ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇದೆ, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದೋದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈ IR ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಓದೋದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್, GS ಪೇಪರ್ 3. GS ಪೇಪರ್ 3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್, ಗ್ರೀನ್ ರೆವಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಫುಡ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿಲೂ ಇದೆ, ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ GS ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಒಂದು. ಎರಡನೇದು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇದೆ GS 3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಎಕಾಲಜಿ, ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಅದನ್ನ ಓದ್ತೀರಾ. ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಓದ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಕವರ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ GS ಪೇಪರ್ 3 ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಸೊ ಅದು ಸಹ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಸಬ್ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಂದು, ನಿಮ್ GS ಅಲ್ಲಿ 50%, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ GS ಓದಿರೋದು 50% ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಕವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಓದಿದ್ರೆ GS ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು. ಎರಡನೇದು, GS ಪೇಪರ್ 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 80 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಏನೋ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ GS ಪೇಪರ್ 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಹ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬರೀಬಹುದು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗೋ ಇದಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, ಒಂದು. ಎರಡನೇದು, IR ಕವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒನ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಡಿಸಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕವರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಬೈ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್. ಸೊ ಮೊದಲನೇದು ಬಂದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್, ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿನ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ, ಅದು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್. ಎರಡನೇ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಎರಡನೇ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಫಾರ್ diagrams and also I can say flow charts. Okay, I personally ಒಂದ್ಸಲಿ ಇವಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರಿತಾ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು 10-20 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನ 3 ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೂ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಾಗ ನೀವು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ 2 ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರೆದ್ರು ಸಹ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಇಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್. ನೀವು ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿಲಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಬರಿಬೋದು, ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು, ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಬರಿಬೋದು, ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೋದು, ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಗಳನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇಷ್ಟೂ ಸಹ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಡಿಷನ್. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ನ ಎನ್ರಿಚ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಡಿಷನ್. ಸೊ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಡಿಷನ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಒಂದು. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಂದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್, PYQ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್. ನೀವು ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 40% ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 10 years ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ನ ನೀವು ರೆಡಿ ಆದ್ರೆ 40% ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್, 40% ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಆ ವರ್ಷ ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗುವಂತ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್. ಮೈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಸೊ PYQ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ 40% ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಯೋರ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್. ಸೊ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಇಂದಾನೆ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 80% ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ PYQ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ 20 ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆ ಒಂದು 5-10 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ನೀವು ಹೋಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ PYQ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಗೆ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಒಂದು ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ರೆಡಿ ಆದ್ರೆ 80% ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಇದು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇನ್ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ 20 ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಪೆರಿಫರಲ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್, ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇದು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಅಡಿಷನಲ್ 5 to 10 ಯಾರು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಯುವರ್ 300 ಇಷ್ಟು ಬಂದ್ರು ಸಹ. ಯಾವುದು? PYQ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ಗೆ ಇರೋ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಇಂದಾನೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಡುವಂತ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್, PYQ ತುಂಬಾ ರಿಪೀಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದೊಂದು ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಏನೋ ಬರ್ದಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಬರೀ 2 months ಮಾತ್ರ ಟೈಮ್ ಇದೆ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ಗೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇದೇ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ PYQ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ತೆಗಿರಿ 10 years ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಸರ್ನ ಮಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿ. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 40% ನೀವೇನೋ ಬರೀರಿ, ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್, ರೈಟಾ? ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟು ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್, 3 ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಬರೀ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಲಿ 3 ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಂಫಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಲಿ ಮೇನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀನಿ. ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಜಿಯೋಗ್ರಫಿ. Okay, so I will be the faculty. Okay, so if you really want to take up geography as an optional, which is a very nice optional, you can just speak with your management once, or ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. So directly I will speak with you. We'll have one counseling session with you. Strength, weakness, identify ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು we can start the preparation. Okay. So any doubts here? Yes. Any doubts? Sir, I have a doubt on scaling. Vamshi, what doubt you have?
So the whole process, like I've chosen philosophy as my optional. So
Okay.
I'm not sure like if it's under scaling or what.
See, no, it's not like that. See, my point is, like scaling ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ನಿಮ್ದು ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಏನು?
ಸರ್ BCom ಸರ್.
BCom ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರಿ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬಹುದು ಅಂತ. ಅದೇ ನೀವು ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ? ಇಲ್ಲ ನನ್ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಏನೋ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಆಂಥ್ರೋಪಾಲಜಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಈಸಿ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸ್ಕೇಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಸ್ಕೇಲಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದ ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ 1. ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ 2, ಆ ವರ್ಷದ ಯಾವ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ, ನೀವು ಬರೆಯುವಂತ ಇಯರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಪೇಪರ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪೇಪರ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ವೀರೇಶ್ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಇಬ್ರು ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ವೀರೇಶ್ ಅವರು ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ ಬರೆದ್ರು, ನೀವು ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಬರೆದ್ರಿ. ಆ ವರ್ಷ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ ಪೇಪರ್ ಈಸಿ ಇತ್ತು, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು. ಅವಾಗ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿಕ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿಕ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ ಅವರೇ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಕೇಲಿಂಗ್ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತಿರೋದು. ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪೇಪರ್, ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಈ ಸ್ಕೇಲಿಂಗ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲಿ UPSC ಮಾತಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಿರೋ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಬಂದು ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೇಟಾ ನಾವೇನ್ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಕೇಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಪೋಕನ್ ಬೈ UPSC. ಆಯ್ತಾ ವಂಶಿ?
Yes I got it.
ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪೇಪರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಕೇಲಿಂಗ್ ನಿಂತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅದನ್ನ ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ವೈಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್? ಇಲ್ಲ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಏನಿದ್ರು ಕೇಳಿ, ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. Any doubts? Shall we wind up the session? Okay. So I hope everything is cleared. So ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ 3 ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಇದೆ. 3 ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರೆದಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಸ್ಎ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ 1 ಗ್ರೂಪ್, ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ 1 ಗ್ರೂಪ್, GS 1 2 3 1 ಗ್ರೂಪ್. ಸೊ ಎಸ್ಎ ಎಥಿಕ್ಸ್ 250, ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ 300, GS 1 2 3 300. So total it amounts to 850. So 150 personality test, total 1000. So your target should be 1000. So optional ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. Your target should be to score 300 in optional, any optional you choose. Hear my point. But while choosing an optional, consider the factors which I told. Materials ಇರಬೇಕು, ಕೋಚಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಈ 3 ಇದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್. ಡೌಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗಾಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಜಾಗ್ರಫಿ ಲಾಂಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸೇರಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್. ಓಕೆ. So if you don't have any doubt, then we'll wind up this session. Right? So yeah, I hope the session was useful. So thank you very much for attending. So if there is anything with respect to option, with respect to anything, with respect to mains answer anything, you can speak with your coordinator ಯಾರಿದಾರೋ ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. So later we shall connect. Okay. So thank you very much. Yeah, we are winding up the session. 10 minutes. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Vidya.
Thank you sir.
Okay, thank you, Vamshi. All the best.